This is the Chapter 9 Part 2 video for the spreadsheet help. In the first spreadsheet help, I noticed that it ended before I had added the before tax cost of debt, something I added after I had completed the video, and I realized that I must have went in sometime after and added this section to help students solve the end of chapter problem, because they have a part of it is a debt question in here that wasn't covered previously. So let me cover how this should be calculated. So let me take out these answers in here, and then I'll cover. So in the previous chapter video, we did cover this rate, and I put this little, added this little comment, use rate formula to solve. So just to go over this again, up here, I'd pull in the formula builder, and I would type in rate. Of course, rate is already established here, so I want the financial rate. They're both the same rate. This most recently used or financial, same difference. So I'm going to put in the N per. So the N per would be right here. It says N per, and I want 4 is the total periods. Payment, there is no payment. I'm going to go with present value, which is down here, which is, you see this negative is always a hint that that's going to be the present value. And year 0 is always another hint for where present value can be found. And future value would be the dividend in the future, which would be year 4. So all I needed these 3 variables to calculate my solution of 966. Okay. This was just a little time value money check I put in here to make sure that this interest rate would add up, accumulate to $2.95 in dividends. So this is just a check rate box here. So let me close that. Okay. So that's just a rehash. I actually did this in the last video. So let's go over here. This is the part I hadn't covered in the previous video, is how to calculate these 4 boxes here. So the payment box is very simple. It's going to take the par value of the bond, and I'm going to multiply that by the coupon rate. And that gives me the coupon, and this would be the annual interest payment. The net proceeds are the present value. How much money are we going to get when we issue this bond? So I'm going to start with, the bond is originally crafted at $1,000. However, there's a flotation charge. So I have to multiply by 1 minus the flotation charge. And then I have to minus from that the discount. Okay, so I get a 2% flotation charge and $20 discount. So that should give me about $960. Yes. So 2% of 1,000 is $20, plus the discount's a separate reduction is $20. So together the two 20s give you 40. So I'd expect to see 960. So this is what the money the company actually receives, the proceeds. So they issue the bond at $1,000 because they have to pay the investment bank a flotation charge, and then also reduce the price by discount to make it attractive. This is what they're actually receiving. Okay, so now that I have these 2 variables, I can actually calculate the before tax cost of debt. So there's another little note here saying use the rate formula. So I can just go into the formula builder. If you're using Windows Excel, you would just click on Insert Formula and look for the rate formula. I have clicked on it one too many times. So I'm going to click on that once. Okay, so N per, make sure my cell is between these brackets. N per is written right here, maturity. And then the payment is right here, PMT. It's actually conveniently written out. Present value now. So before I do the present value, I have to hit a negative here. And then I can click on the net proceeds to be the present value. Because present value should always be represented as a negative number, otherwise it can't calculate. And future value would be right here, see the FV is the future values of par value, because in the future, the bond will pay $1,000. Okay, so now that I have these 4 variables filled in, N per, payment, present value, keeping in mind it has to be a negative, so I put a minus sign in there, and the future value. I hit enter, and this becomes my before tax cost of debt. To calculate my after tax cost of debt, I'm simply going to follow the formula from the first handout. So here's the formula from the first handout. So I want to get the before tax rate of debt times 1 minus the tax rate. So I'm going to take my before tax, and I'm going to multiply it by 1 minus the tax rate, and this would be my after-tax cost of debt. Okay, so now that you've watched the first video, you've completed this handout, you know how to calculate these variables from the first part of the handout, including the weighted average cost of capital. You understand how to calculate the growth rate and how to solve for before tax cost of debt and after tax cost of debt when they give you this information about the bond. You are now ready to attempt the end of chapter exercise, spreadsheet exercise, which is tying everything together. So there's nothing new in here now. I've covered all the basics you need. You just have to read through this problem, interpret what they're asking for, which is everything they're asking here we've already calculated in handout page 1 and page 2. And then you just have to fill in these, already actually outlined the answers in their own sort of boxes, similar to what we've done in the previous pages. So again, don't worry if you don't get this page 100% correct. Try the best, do the best you can with it. And of course, after the assignment is due, I will release an answer key. And this is just for me to get an understanding if you can tie all this information together to really understand why you would calculate the weighted average cost of capital using all these variables. Okay. All right. So that's the end of this video. I hope this helped clear up the rest of chapter 9, and good luck. Thank you.